Hello YouTube, so today we're going to do the final part 8, of parallels and contrasts between New Jerusalem, the High Priest and the King of Tyre. So in this last part we're going to compare the parallels and contrasts between Simon and the devil. So we'll first go to Genesis chapter 34 verses 24 to 30. And so it says in Genesis chapter 34, verses 24 to 30, "And all who went out to the gate of his city heeded Hamor and Shechem his son. Every male was circumcised and went out to the gate of his city. Now it came to pass on the third day, when they were in pain, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simon and Levi, Diana's brothers, each took his sword and came boldly upon the city and killed all the males. And they killed Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Diana out from Shechem's house and went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and plundered the city, because their sister had been defiled. They took their sheep, oxen, donkeys, what was in the city and what was in the field, and all their wealth. All their little ones and their wives they took captive, and they plundered even all that was in the houses. And Jacob said to Simon and Levi, "You have troubled me by making me obnoxious among the inhabitants of land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And since I am few in the number, they will gather themselves together against me and kill me, and I shall be destroyed, my household and I." So as we can see, the backstory of this was that their sister Diana had been raped by this person, and he had fallen in love with her and he wanted to actually marry her. And so Simon and Levi agreed to it, but it was actually a trick, and they were going to kill Shechem and Hamor out. They were going to kill this man that raped her out of revenge. And so they had done that. As we can see, that led to a whole lot of issues. Now everyone basically hated them, because not only did they kill the person responsible for raping his sister, they basically killed all their associates and all their other family and relatives that were not a part of that crime whatsoever. And what we can see, the parallels and contrasts between this is between Simon and the devil in this story, is that the devil commits evil acts and goes out to destroy and kill people to claim their souls for hell. But eventually he will be destroyed in the end in the lake of fire, because of what he's done and the great evil acts that he's done, like tricking Eve to eat the fruit of good, to eat the fruit of knowledge of good and evil, and just tempting people in general, and rebelling against God at the very start, and causing a war, and destroying the original relationship that he had with God before he rebelled against him and wanted to be like him. And that caused destruction in his relationship with God, and ultimately caused his destruction in the end, at the end of days. And so the parallels and contrasts between this is that if we go to 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 9, so 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 9 says, "Not returning evil for evil, or reviling for reviling, but on the contrary, blessing, knowing that you are called this, that you may inherit a blessing." So basically what it's saying is that we should not repay evil with evil, but repay evil with good. Basically, we should overcome evil with good acts. And that is not what Simon did. He, instead of taking a different route to bring justice to what had happened to his sister from being raped, he took a vengeful and dark route, and he sought vengeance, and that ultimately led to his destruction. Same for us as Christians, we shouldn't lead to evil. We shouldn't repay evil acts with evil, because that will lead to our ultimate destruction, and that doesn't help in our walk with Christ or being representatives for Christ. It ultimately would destroy our relationship with other people and would destroy our ability to spread the gospel and the word of God. And is the same with how the devil, and this is contrasted and is parallel to how the devil rebelled against God. Instead of continually being a part of God's plan, whatever that plan God might have had for his life in the years to come, instead he chose to rebel against God, and he destroyed all those plans. He decided to repay God for what he had done, or given him a position of being in charge of worship. Instead, he decided to repay that with evil, by wanting to become like God and be worshipped like God was. And so we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't be like the devil. We shouldn't repay good acts with evil. We should repay evil acts with good. And so that is the end of this series. So if you have any questions about this series, about parallels and contrasts between New Jerusalem and the King of Tyre and the High Priest, put them in the comment section down below and I'll answer them. But that is the end of this series, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.